Chris Mitchell. I grew up in Newnan, Georgia, in the South. I am 50 years old. I grew up in a 4-room shotgun house. And shotgun, I mean you can open the front door and look straight through the back door. And that's going through each room in the house. We grew up playing in a yard that had no grass, lived next to railroad tracks that ran behind the property, and we played with the neighborhood kids. I mean, we played baseball in the backyard, basketball. We had a little corner store that we used to go to and get snacks. So, you know, we grew up in a pretty close community. It was a small town, so really they didn't have to put it out, because usually on Saturday, most black people would, that's when they did their shopping. They would take the kids, and downtown Newnan was surrounded by stores. So the theater sat right there in the middle of downtown, so as you walked around the court square, you would pass by the theater. And they would have the little posters up, and then they have the big thing over the top saying what was playing. And they didn't have that many movies playing, so, you know. Back then, it was just something to do on a Saturday afternoon, or, you know, whatever, because it was just something to do. Back then, it was called the Alamo Theatre. It was downtown Newnan on the court square. Westerns, as growing up, used to be a pretty good thing to go see. And, you know, it was segregated back then, so all the black people had to go upstairs and all the white people went downstairs, and we weren't allowed downstairs. When we went to the concession stand, there was a little window that we went to, and they would hand the stuff out the window to you, and then you go back upstairs. So you never came in contact, because you went in through a side door and then up the stairs where everybody else went through the front. The bottom area where the white people sat was larger than the balcony.
Okay.
I mean, it went from the front of the theater to the movie screen. The balcony was only a small section that didn't sit that many people. So sometimes we would pick up Coca-Cola bottles, and you know, we would get like a nickel a piece for them. We turn them in. We save bottles or cut grass, you know, whatever we could, because our parents didn't have much money back in that day. So we did whatever we did, you know, to get extra money.
And you would just go with your friends?
Yeah, we would walk the railroad tracks to the theater, and you know, sometimes we had to be careful on the way back, because back then white kids thought pissing in balloons and throwing them on people as they walked the street was a fun idea. I mean, sometimes we had a couple of them throw it at us because we were walking down the main street. You know, that, like I said, that was the South.
So tell us a little more about Gone with the Wind, and did you like the film?
Really, I don't know, because I didn't care too much for the movie. That wasn't a particular movie that I really cared for. The only black movies I saw was after that time, and then they were only showed in specific locations. Like, you wouldn't watch a black movie at the Alamo Theatre. You would have to go to the city, Atlanta, somewhere like that, to watch a movie with black people. And I had an uncle that lived there, you know, he would take us to movies. Back in the day, you know, like when they started coming out with movies like Shaft, Cleopatra Jones, Foxy Brown, Jim Brown, when he was playing with Raquel Welch, you know, they didn't want to show that movie here when that came out. To me, times really hadn't changed that much, because I work in a public place, and I see some of the stuff now that I saw back then, And you still got some of those people that's left from back then that's still here now. But like I said, some of the folks that from that era, they're still here, so they still teaching their ways to the youngers.